Hello, friends. Welcome to Take Two for this Wednesday, the 15th of April, 2026. I'm Jeannie, and I'm so glad you've decided to come along for the ride today on this Whoop Day. Well, I told this story a while back, but it's worth telling again because lately I have just been very reflective and thinking about being grateful for the little things. A couple of years ago, I got acquainted with this young woman who was working in a ministry. Her job was she was working doing administration for a ministry for women who have been coming out of either rehab or prison or some really, kind of challenging life. And this was sort of a halfway place. And she was working there. She herself had been a person who had been incarcerated for 11 years. She was there because she had gotten involved with drugs and robbery and all sorts of stuff. But she had seen the error of her ways and she converted while she was in prison. She became a very true, believing, strong Christian woman, and she wanted to give back. So when she was released, she decided to study, get her degree in social work, and go into this sort of line of a career path for herself. And one of the things that she told me was the day she was released out of prison, she was being driven home and her friend collected her. And she was a little nervous about coming back into the real world again. And they stopped at a convenience store to put gas in the car. And while they were there, she said, "You want a snack? We can go in and get some snacks. I'll bet you'd like one." And she said, "Yeah, sure." So they went inside this convenience store. When they did, they went over to the rack that had potato chips and chips on it. And she just stood there spellbound, staring at these chips. And her friend said to her, "Well, go ahead, pick one. My treat. Come on, grab some chips and a Coke and we'll get out of here." So she did, and she grabbed her drink and they went out to the car and she said, "Why were you staring at that rack of chips?" She said, "It's really funny." She said, "But when I was away," she said, "we had things like that were special. You had to use your credits, to buy something like that in the little store that they had at the jail, at the prison." She said, "And there was one brand and one type. It was just plain ordinary, some vending machine brand type, and that's it." She said, "And it was a little pricey too. It was like $3 for a little bag or whatever it was." She said, "Look at this. There's all this 2 for $3 and this and that and all this sour cream and onion and barbecue and all these other things, sun chips." She said, "I never had that." She said, "I will forever be grateful that now that I'm out, I could actually have my choice like that again." And it was something that just resonated in her heart to say, okay, it's just potato chips. It's no big deal. But the fact is that we take stuff like that for granted. It's so easy to take stuff like that for granted and just say, "Oh, yeah, of course we have a big selection." If you go into a store, like a big mega store, like a super Walmart or something, or a super giant, or one of those types of stores, and you look down the rows and you'll see, 40 different types of brand of this and 80 different brands of that. And you just take it for granted and it's no big deal. I know that sometimes I'll say, "Okay, I like so-and-so brand, but if this one is a buy one, get one free, I'll go with that brand this week," and that sort of thing. We take it for granted. It's those little tiny things that make things like that, make life so special. So are there little tiny things in your life that you take for granted and you don't stop and reflect and think how special they are? Whether it's something as simple as having the opportunity and the privilege of being able to select your own brand of things in stores, or also maybe just your family or your job, the privilege you have of being able to say, "I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a best friend, I'm a daughter, I'm a son," whatever you might happen to be, a father, an uncle, an aunt, whatever it is, and just say, "Wow, I am so privileged." It's those little things of stopping and reflecting. So here's my challenge to you today, boys and girls. Take a moment, reflect, and think about maybe some of those little things that you've been taking for granted, and stop and give thanks for them, because we are very blessed. And we just have to look around and realize just how blessed we are. Now go out and be a blessing to somebody today. Be that little thing that maybe they've taken for granted, your friendship with them, and just remind them how much you love them and be a blessing, okay? You may end up being the only one who is. Don't forget, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel already, please do so. Jeanne Sigler, Jeannesigler. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up. Helps with those algorithms. And leave a comment. I love to hear from you. That's a little thing you can do for me. And also, don't forget to follow me on X. It's at Jeanne NY Woman, the little @ sign, JEANNE NY Woman. Hit follow. You can leave a comment there too. And please, by all means, tune into my program Through the Eyes of a New York Woman every Saturday at ultimateoldiesradio.com. And that's at 9 Eastern, 8 Central AM and PM. And an encore presentation on oldies700.com on Sundays at 4 Central, 5 Eastern, AM and PM. I love you very much. Now listen, you go out, be that blessing. And don't forget, it's those little things. Don't take them for granted any longer. I love you. Bye-bye.